Now, on a special edition of KGW News, the local reaction continues to grow after Border Patrol agents shoot 2 people.
We are tired of neighbors living in fear. That does not keep us safe.
Try to make the case that ICE needs to leave our communities.
How local groups are bringing the community together as the Trump administration backs its immigration agenda. Also tonight, how a judge's ruling pushes back on an executive order targeting vote by mail. Thanks so much for joining us on this special edition of KGW News. I'm John Adams. In the wake of the shootings by federal agents both here in Portland and in Minneapolis this week, Portlanders out protesting today say they're outraged. Our Jake Holter is live for us now at the ICE building with the latest. Jake, what are you hearing from people out there today?
Well, John, right here at the ICE building, it's actually pretty calm right now, but earlier at Waterfront Park, hundreds of people were out protesting the Trump administration after 2 shootings involving federal agents this week.
Every day there's something new that is so heavy.
In a week's time, the U.S. captured the Venezuelan president, a woman was shot and killed by a federal agent in Minneapolis, and 2 people identified by DHS as Venezuelan immigrants were shot by federal agents here in Portland.
It really hits home, and you realize how you're not safe.
Rebecca Flaming Martin says she lives 2 miles from where the shooting in Portland took place and says she was out protesting Saturday because she doesn't like the recent moves by the U.S.
I'm very concerned that we are turning into the very kinds of countries we stood up against in prior wars, world wars.
Washington County Commissioner Nafisa Faye also in attendance at the waterfront protest.
Before, it was just being kidnapped and taken away. Now people are the fear of being killed is added to that equation.
Faye says she is concerned if she has a run-in with federal agents, how quickly she fears things could escalate.
If I don't turn around and wait for them or follow their unconstitutional command, does that mean they're going to shoot me? That's the interpretation, and that is a dangerous interpretation to facilitate by men who say that they're with the federal law.
Also Saturday, Democratic Congresswoman Maxine Dexter held a town hall in East Portland to hear constituents' concerns.
And my question, I don't know if you have an answer for this, is like, what can we do? Get a whistle, use your phone, sign up for Migrant Watch or with Perk, volunteer, take care of your people.
At one point, Dexter addressed that she would be filing articles of impeachment against Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem.
I had said that I was going to file articles for impeachment of Kristi Noem.
A DHS spokesperson said that the shootings in both Minneapolis and Portland were in self-defense. And tomorrow we'll be heading down to Salem to hear from Republicans after what's transpired this week. John?
All right, our Jake Holter live for us tonight. Jake, thanks so much for that reporting. Well, among the events staged today was a vigil at Terry Shrunk Plaza in downtown Portland. Organizers told us they wanted to offer the community a place to grieve following the shooting here locally, as well as the deadly shooting by an ICE agent in Minneapolis. They also wanted to send the message that people are coming together to call for change.
All of us are experiencing something right now that is bringing forth a lot of pain. Different lines of impact depending on your identities. Our black and brown siblings are being targeted. Folks are being racially profiled. That's not justice. That's not public safety.
Along with a vigil, one of the groups, Latino Network, was offering support to the children and families of the couple that were shot Thursday. This was the scene last night outside the ICE facility along the South Waterfront in Portland. About a few hundred people protesting following Thursday's shooting. Portland police say they arrested one person last night, 39-year-old Andrew Simmons, after he pushed an officer. That makes 80 arrests total since protests have been happening outside the facility in the past year. Attorneys with Innovation Law Lab are asking a federal court to stop ICE agents from making arrests without warrants here in Oregon. Among the plaintiffs is Hillsborough grandfather Victor Cruz, who ICE arrested despite having a work authorization and a pending visa. His family says he was arrested in mid-October in a case of mistaken identity, as federal agents were looking for another man by the same name who had a criminal history. Despite that, Innovation's Law Lab claims ICE pressured Cruz to self-deport while he was detained. Protests and vigils being held across the country today after an ICE agent fatally shot a woman in Minnesota this week. The Minneapolis police chief estimates more than 1,000 people demonstrated overnight Friday. At least 30 were detained and later released. New video is giving us a different view of the shooting. A warning, you'll hear the shooting itself, but you won't see the driver, Renee Good, being hit. This video was recorded by the ICE officer who opened fire. Take a look.
You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
The Department of Homeland Security claims the new footage shows that, quote, the officer was in fear of his own life, the lives of his fellow officers, and acted in self-defense.
Have agitators, and we will always be protecting ICE, and we're always going to be protecting our Border Patrol and our law enforcement.
But many experts have criticized the agent's actions and say the videos do not prove any credible threat. The Department of Justice has blocked Minnesota investigators from participating in a probe into the shooting, a move that's infuriating many Minnesota leaders. Okay, time to talk our weather here locally. It was a cool and cloudy start to the weekend, and it was also dry out there today. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri is here to let us know if the forecast will be changing at all over the next few days. Hey, Joe.
Hey there. Not a whole lot. I love these crisp, cool winter mornings. You got to get a chance to go for a run. You could kind of, see your breath as you ran a little bit around the neighborhood or whatever your plans were. I saw a lot of people kind of taking down the Christmas lights. Yeah, no judgment. You can keep them up as long as you want, but you might want to turn off the lights though. But looking into tomorrow, there's a slight chance for some light sprinkles. For the most part, those light sprinkles will be impacting the Oregon coast, and it's throughout the morning hours. This is a weak system that's going to be above, ahead of us tonight and into early tomorrow. But for the most part, we're going to be mild and dry for Sunday, and that's going to be the case for the next 7 days. We have an air stagnation advisory that will be in effect now through tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. But you can kind of see some of those showers moving in right now, but they're well north of us, impacting folks over in British Columbia and over along the Puget Sound area. Up and down the I-5 corridor, we're going to be dry as a bone over the next few days. It's not going to be looking much like early, almost mid-January the next few days. Our temperatures will be mild as well. Downtown Portland right now seeing a temperature of 46 degrees. You can kind of see where the rain will be well north of us. So like I said, maybe around 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow, there could be some light sprinkles, but there's going to be lots of sunshine in the forecast over the next 7 to 8 days. I'll talk more about that in a few minutes.
All right, Joe, that'll be a nice change of pace. Thank you. New tonight, the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office is investigating an incident where an unknown white powder was thrown at a medical worker. It happened sometime before 3 this afternoon at Kaiser Permanente Sunnyside Medical Center. The Sheriff's Office says a woman visiting the hospital threw the powder at a Metro West medic who then suffered a medical emergency. The suspect left before first responders got there. The medic is still hospitalized, but the Sheriff's Office says the substance doesn't pose a threat to the rest of the hospital. Also new tonight, investigators are looking into what caused a fire at an apartment complex earlier this morning. It happened around 3:30 near Southwest Murray Boulevard and Farmington Road in Beaverton. They found fire coming from a second floor unit. Everyone was able to get out safely, but 2 cats were found dead and 2 people have been displaced. On Friday, a judge blocked most of a Trump administration order that would have tightened voter requirements nationwide, a move critics say could have disrupted vote-by-mail systems in both Oregon and Washington. Corey Johnson breaks down that ruling.
The federal judge in this case ruled the president overstepped his authority. The order would have required proof of U.S. citizenship to vote and that all mail ballots arrive by Election Day, changes that could have significantly impacted vote by mail in both Oregon and Washington. Now, the judge's ruling comes after both states sued, arguing the order could disenfranchise tens of thousands of voters. The court says the Constitution gives Congress and the states, not the president, the authority to regulate federal elections. But late last year, the president pushed to end vote by mail, citing concerns about cost and election integrity. Around that same time, Oregon officials pushed back.
We're going to end mail-in voting. It's a fraud. You know that we're the only country in the world, I believe, I may be wrong, but just about the only country in the world that uses them.
He's wrong. Voting by mail in Oregon, which is, by the way, done with paper ballots, is less expensive than votes that require someone to show up at a specific place at a specific time.
Now, the judge also noted that voting by non-citizens is rare and already illegal, and said states could not be threatened with the loss of federal funding for refusing to comply with the order. For right now, that ruling keeps Oregon and Washington's vote-by-mail systems unchanged. Back to you.
All right, Corey, thanks so much for that report. We have a health alert today as the Oregon Health Authority investigates 2 cases of measles in Linn County. Other people may have been exposed as well. These are the state's first measles cases of the year. OHA says the 2 people started developing symptoms on the 5th of January. They spent some time in the emergency departments at Lebanon Community Hospital and Albany General Hospital. If you were there between the times listed, you may have been exposed, and you should let your healthcare provider know as soon as you can. In Northwest Portland, a brand new Multnomah County Library opened today on Northwest Petty Grove Street. Dozens of families attended the grand opening. The new library is more than twice the size of the library it replaced, which was on Thurman Street a few blocks away from there. Inside is a large selection of books for kids and plenty of computers for those looking to access the internet. We spoke to a dad named Jake Wicks who visited the library with his daughter. Here were his first impressions.
Oh, it's awesome. Just the structure and the fact that they used a lot of reclaimed materials and like the stuff they put together for kids. I mean, it's just, you can tell they put a lot of work into it and a lot of heart.
The library was funded from a bond measure that passed back in 2020. The county budget for the project, $21 million.